Hello, this is Ken here, rdauditors.com. So basically just wanted to bring this to your information. We just heard some news today regarding the Pentagon essentially threatens Anthropic, one of the leading AI LLM firms in the space, valuation of about nearly $200 billion, behemoth. They're basically mentioning that the Pentagon mentioning that they're threatening punishment, which basically means that they're going to pay, which they said. So what's happened was Defensive Secretary Peter Hegseth literally said that he's close to cutting business ties with Anthropic due to designating an AI company a supply chain risk. So what they're actually saying is that the Department of War relationship with Anthropic is being reviewed. So Anthropic is the only AI company in the space that actually has direct access to all of the data within Pentagon, right? So clearly this is, they've received all of the necessary concessions, the necessary due diligence to be able to get that coverage, to get access to this sensitive data. And what's basically happened is that Anthropic seemed to be pushing back, especially the CEO Dario Amodei. He's pushing back in terms of taking this information seriously. And what they're basically saying is they want to ensure that the tools being used will not be used to basically spy on Americans. This is what Anthropic CEO is basically saying. They're willing to provide all the necessary systems, the AIs, anything that's required in terms to the Pentagon, but they don't want this to be used to spy on Americans. And this is the key here, or to develop weapons that fire with no human involvement. So they've taken a strong stance. And this isn't just something that's happened today. The Pentagon also claims that unduly restrictive and that there are all sorts of grey areas that would make it unworkable to operate on such terms. Pentagon officials are insisting in negotiations. And 3 other big AI labs, such as OpenAI, Google, xAI, that the military will be able to use their tools for all lawful purposes. So it seems the only one out of all of the AI labs, such as OpenAI, Google, xAI, Anthropic, is Anthropic. They're standing firm. And funny that they're the ones that are really focused on safety first, right? And they're the ones that have access to this information. So that's a lot of respect for them to take this stance, because you can also imagine the amount of the contracts that they have. Let's just figure out what's the contract. Contract term, contract amount, because it'd be interesting to see what's at stake. And it's more than just the money here. But it basically says there's $200 million. So Anthropic secured a major endorsement last summer when it won a contract worth up to $200 million from the Defense Department. Okay, so I guess that was the starting base. Is going to want to scale beyond that. And if you take a look at Anthropic, they basically did the last quarter of 2025, they did a Series F raise, $13 billion, led by Iconic IQ at a $183 billion post money valuation. So these are significant investors. And really the stance that they've really taken, I think this has really come from the inception of Anthropic, that their approach is safety first, right? They want to emphasize this safety first approach to artificial intelligence that integrates data privacy as a fundamental component of trust rather than an afterthought. So they don't want their core values literally being put to the side or put to bed just due to they have a contract with the Pentagon. It doesn't make sense. So it'd be interesting to see how this manifests. We've also heard some news that Jensen Huang, he basically mentioned that, and he's the CEO of NVIDIA, he actually mentioned in a quote that he said, one, he believes that AI is so scary that only they should do it. So this is what he's saying of Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, at a press briefing. He also said, number 2, which is He's referring to Modi that AI is so expensive, nobody else should do it. And 3, AI is so incredibly powerful that everyone will lose their jobs, which explains why they should be the only company building it. I think AI, this is what Jensen said, I think that AI is very important technology. We should build it and advance it safely and responsibly. If you want things to be done safely and responsibly, you do it in the open, don't do it in the dark room and tell me it's safe. Okay, fine. So he's pushing back on the narrative of the core value stance that Modi's taken in terms of respect to the safety first initiative. But it'd be really interesting to see how this ends, because this is clearly at standstill. They're negotiating, but the update is that they've really come out, Pentagon has come out and just said that they will pay for this. So that doesn't seem good. That's quite a strong stance, strong tone for them to take. And this could mean that they could sever ties with them. This could mean that they want to just reassess and change the terms of the contract. I don't know, but I would like to see whether Anthropic really stay firm on this view, or they're willing to take a risk of the 200, so valued at 200 million. And also, which is also quite fair, 200 million is a fraction of Anthropic's $14 billion annual revenue. That's fair, $14 billion, but clearly majority of their revenue is coming from enterprise, right? A lot of, significant companies, I would presume. But you're talking about Pentagon here, right? So that's the difference. So it's not even about the money. You're looking at the influence that the Pentagon clearly has. And then what will then happen because we're living in a situation where everything's about news, right? So if they sever ties, who knows whether the White House, the administration, will double down on this. And this can then have potential ramifications on one side, but then on the other side, it can then entice other businesses that are like, you have just adhered to your views, your stance, your core ethos of what you believe AI is and how you want AI to be utilized in the world. And irrespective of, and you're willing to let go of this 200 million with Pentagon to make it happen. So let's just see how things progress and transpire over the next few weeks. But yeah, this is a clear standoff here. And AI is clearly the future and we want to see what happens. So anyway, if you like this information, please like, follow, subscribe. If you need any security audits, penetration audits, if you have any apps, we can help. We can provide you with security. Take care. Bye-bye.